Okay, so welcome everybody for attending this info session today. My name is Eli Bonfil. I'm the technical coordinator of ProBleu and researcher in the Institute of Marine Sciences in Barcelona. And today I'm here with my colleagues, Pedro Costa from Innova Mais, the partner on charge of these calls, and Aisha Nankenja, sorry if I don't pronounce it right, from Earthwatch. This is our partner in the UK that is helping and supporting the schools in this process, also in the process of applying to be a blue school. So at the end of this session, you will have time to share your questions with us and share your opinion about these calls. So let's gonna start with the presentation. If you can share it, Pedro.
Oh, sorry, want me to share it? Sorry, because I didn't understand that you want me to share it. I'm not sure if I have the last version with me.
I send it to you now.
But I think that I have it here. Yes.
You have it on your email. For people who is not checking the chat, we have the chat down where you can write your questions, but also we ask you to write where are you from, to know a little bit from which countries you are attending this session.
Okay, you can see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So to start with, about this call, I'm going to present.
Sorry, Pedro, this is not the last version. I've sent it to you by email.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Nice, because I can see that there's people from a lot of different countries. So we are happy because one of our goals as project is to reach as many countries as possible in the European Union and associated countries like Morocco, Tunisia, Turkey, UK. So a lot of different countries here. Now I'm reading Greece, Romania, Albania, Macedonia, Spain.
This is the correct one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're starting, and I'm sorry for this. So
yeah, thank you, Pedro. So the idea is to introduce you a little bit the partners of this project. Okay, we are 6 partners in ProBleu, and each one from different countries. One is my research center, the Institute of Marine Sciences, PESIC, in Barcelona, Spain. Innova Mais, that it's a company located in Portugal. The Kaunas University of Technology in Lithuania, and 3 partners from the UK, and the NGO Earthwatch Europe, the research center Plymouth Marine Laboratory, and the NGO Ocean Conservation Trust, each one with different expertise on the fields of the blue schools, the funding, and the ocean and freshwater research. Next slide, please. The idea of our project, that it's a European project funded by the EU Mission Restore Ocean and Waters, is that we want to support primary and secondary schools to create their own blue school project, with the idea of engaging students in the protection of marine waters and also in fresh water. Okay. And we want to support you in the creation of projects that engage the whole community, not only your classroom, also the other teachers, the school leaders, the families, NGOs, companies, everybody around your school. So to create a project with a wide view, with this objective of motivating them to do projects related to the restoration and conservation of waters. We want that your projects contribute also to this idea of being a blue school. So the idea is the project that you create to apply to our fundings is the project that will help you to become part of the network of European blue schools. Next slide, please. So if you are not very familiar with the concept of a European blue school or a blue school in general, they are schools that using methodologies of open schooling promote the ocean and freshwater in the curriculum of the school, with this idea of making students more involved in the conservation of their environment around the school. And this is managed in Europe for a network, the network of European Blue Schools that is coordinated by the U4Ocean Coalition. And by the moment, there are more than 100 different blue schools certified as a blue school. As you can see, there is a big amount in the Mediterranean basin, but bit by bit it's increasing, this network. There are projects related to freshwater, to rivers, lakes, but also there are projects related to the sea or the ocean. And if you want to be part of this network, it's very easy. You just have to apply to this network. Now the process is open. It opened last week. And you can apply until the 15th of December. And if you are not on time of applying to be a blue school now, don't worry because you have time. They open the call twice per year, so you can wait until January to the next call. And all the schools that receive funding from ProBleu will be automatically accredited as a European blue school. So this is something very interesting. If you can know more about this process, that we recommend you to participate in. You have the website, and we will post it on the chat. So there you will find all the information. But to be a blue school, you have to follow 5 criteria, so it's very easy. Next slide, please. There are 5 compulsory criteria. The first one is that you have to develop a project with interlinked activities. So I recommend you to do a list of the activities you are doing in the school related to the water or to the ocean, and try to connect them to create a project with more impact. The second criteria is that you have to produce a clear output. This is important. There's not only learning, you need to create some kind of output that then you will have to communicate. The third criteria is that you have to involve all the students. It doesn't matter if it's only one class or the whole school, but you have to involve everybody in this class or in this school, not just a select group of students. We have to make it for everybody. We have to make it inclusive. The fourth criteria is that you need to collaborate with a local partner, an NGO, company, the city townhill, somebody to amplify the impact of the project. And the last one is that you should communicate what you do in your website, in your blog, in the social media, in a local newspaper, or whatever, but you should communicate what you are doing to involve the whole community that you have around you. And then there are 5 optional criteria that you can follow or not, that are not so important. If you get these 5 criteria, fill in the form to be a blue school, you will receive this certificate. And you will be connected to several schools in Europe that are working in the same topics as you. You will be part of several teacher trainings, online teacher trainings. You will have access to different resources, educational resources related to these topics. And you will have the connection to create maybe twinning projects with other schools. So it's a nice opportunity to be in this ecosystem. So this is something very important for us. You can apply to our funding, but also in parallel, you can apply to be a Blue School. And this is something independent of our funding. And we recommend you that if you have started to do something related to the water, please apply to be a Blue School. And for applying, you should apply with the project that it's done in the past or that it's being carried this school year, not with the future project. Okay, this is very important. The certification is for things that have been done or are being done now. Next slide. So if you participate in ProBleu, the benefits are that you will inspire your kids, and we recommend you to introduce them into citizen science. This is one of our expertise, and we will help you to introduce this topic in your school because we are preparing educational materials related to this. With our funding, you will be able to buy a lot of equipment. The idea is that with our funding, you get all the resources, physical or educational, that you need to create your own Blue School project and to maintain it in the future. This is the idea. After the funding, you should be able to continue with this project with the equipment or the resources that you have created with ProBleu funding. We will support you to join the network of Blue Schools. We will help you to cooperate with other schools, and we engage you to create twinning activities with other schools around you to amplify the impact of your ideas and your projects. You will be part of an international project that it's in a lot of countries, and you will have access to different teaching materials that we are creating that will be launched at the end of November when our call is closed. We will launch our catalog of educational resources, so you will have a lot of material that will help you to introduce fresh water and ocean in your school. So we engage you to create this kind of activities related to citizen science also, to motivate your students to be part of the solution to the problems that our environment is facing. Okay. So I leave the floor to my colleague Pedro that will explain you detailedly how it's our call and what we expect from you.
So thank you, Ellie. So I'm going to present you some details about the call, and probably if you have some questions, we can answer them at the end, or you can place them in the chat, and we'll go back to the chat at the end of the presentation. So first thing, it's about who can participate. So our call addresses primary and secondary level schools, including vocational educational schools of the members of the European Union and third countries associated to the Horizon program. The schools need to be legal entities to apply to the grants, and they need to show evidence of that. In this table, you can see that we have grouped the countries in four different groups. And as you can see, Group A is the group that has a little bit higher number of countries, but it's also the group where we are going to approve a higher number of projects. So around 14 to 18 projects will be approved in Group A, around 12 to 15 projects in Group B, 3 to 5 projects in Group C, and 2 to 4 projects in Group D. This is mostly because we already support several projects in the past calls that reach out to countries from Group D and C, and we are trying to foster and to reach out to as many as countries as possible and give opportunities to all. And so we put here some efforts to provide funds to schools from the countries in Group A and B as well. In terms of the process, let's say, and documentation that it's important for you to be aware of. First, everything is in our website. You can find the call for proposals, which is the document that explains the objectives of the call, the eligibility criteria, the wording criteria, displays all the process as all the information, and it is the fundamental document that you need to read carefully. Then you have the project description form, which is the document where you are going to present your project. It is available in Word format and in PDF editable format. You can choose the one that suits you better. It has specific questions that you need to answer. Those questions are aligned with the wording criteria. And so it is important that you go through all the questions and answer all the questions. You will also find there a template for the declaration of honor, which is a compulsory document that you need to submit and needs to be signed by the legal representative of the school. Also, in our website, you will find there a section with frequently asked questions. It has a lot of answers and lots of questions that were made in the past calls that can be relevant for you, that can also help you in understanding a little bit the call for proposals and potentially clarifying any doubts. What we recommend is that at your school, you try to discuss your project idea with other teachers and even with students, and understand if your idea fits with our call. Then check the evaluation criteria that is on the call, and based on the criteria that is there, you might need to reshape a little bit the project idea. Then prepare your application. Again, you have the project description form that you need to fill in, where you explain your project. And in the website, there is an area for the submission of the online of the your application. You also have there some questions to answer, but they are more administrative related questions, like the name of the school, the name of the legal representative, address, etc. And make sure that you submit the full package, so the project description form and the declaration of honor, by 21st of November before midnight Central European Time. Here in this slide, you have a brief overview of the form. So on the right side, you see the first page of the project description form that is available in Word format and in PDF format. You have several questions to answer. Each question has a brief guideline that aims to support you in elaborating the answer to the question. And we also recommend a maximum length for each question in terms of maximum characters. And on the left side, you see the example of the application form online, which is just the it's collecting administrative data from the contact person, from the school, etc. So it's more generic data. It's very important, and want to remember, because this is very important, to read carefully the call for proposals, because this document, it's the document that will prevail in case of any contradiction For example, in any contradiction that is said today with the call of proposals, the call of proposals will always take precedence and will prevail. And so it's very important that you read that document very well and that you follow it as much as possible. In terms of the calendar, for your information, so the call is open since the 20th of September and the deadline for submission is the 21st of November. We aim to announce the results by the 24th of January, have the administrative part of the contract signature done until the end of January, and so the projects can start from the 3rd and February onwards. One important issue that you need to be aware is that the projects have a maximum duration of 12 months, and that it will not be possible, let's say, to extend the period of implementation of the project further than those 12 months. In terms of the funding available, in this call, we have defined three types of projects regarding the funding. So you can design a small project that we call it small scale project and apply for a fund of 2,500 euros, a medium scale project, and you can apply for a funding of 5,000 euros, or a large project where you can apply for a grant, a funding of 7,500 euros. So this is a lump sum project, which means that you apply to a specific amount. You need to calculate a budget, you need to explain how you're going to spend the money, but you apply to a fixed amount. For the projects that will be funded, and this is an important information, you will receive 80% of the fund with the signature of the contract, so you can have the resources to implement the project. And we will retain 20% until the end of the project, until you close the project and report back to us what you have done and show your results. In terms of the type of expenses, this is a small list as examples, but you can have some travel and accommodation subsistence costs, for example, to take students to a field trip. You can have the purchase and renting of equipment, consumables, other goods, works, and services, for example, translation of the resources, something like that. You can have some subcontracting to have an expert in the school talking about a specific topic that I think it's interesting for the project and for the students. So you need to check the call of for proposals, because there you find a little bit more information about the type of expenses that are eligible. And you need in your project description form to explain how you are going to spend your money. In terms of examples of activities, and these are just examples, so it's possible to have different activities, so you can design different activities. But here in this slide, you can find some examples like data collection, organizing workshops, meeting conferences, training courses, field trips, and exhibitions, development and delivering teaching units, individual lessons, exercises. You can have research-based activities, creative performance, documentaries, films by students, competitions with your students. You can have collaboration with other schools, and you can come up with different activities if it fits better to your project and if they are aligned with our call of proposals. There are some examples of projects that we will present to you in a while, some examples of projects, but there are also on our website. You can find there projects that were supported from the past calls, and they can be an inspiration for yourself. And what should the project be about? This is very important information that we want to highlight because we have defined these 17 topics that are aligned with the European Mission for Restoring the Oceans and Waters 2030. And you need to select at least one of these topics. So your project needs to fit one of these topics. It can fit more, it is possible. It can fit up to three, but at least as minimum, you need to make sure that your project responds to one of these topics. This is also explained in the call for proposals, in the document call for proposals. You'll find there more information about this. And sometimes there is a saying that say less is more. So it is enough to adjust a project to one topic. You don't need to try to force, let's say, 2 or 3 topics just because you don't get more points in the evaluation to select 3 topics rather to select one topic. Okay, so make sure that the project is aligned, it's very well justified with one of the topics. Now I'm going to pass the floor to my colleague Aisha, that she's going to present the examples of projects.
Thank you very much, Pedro and Ellie, and our dear audience. My name is Aisha from Earthwatch, and just to show you an example of past projects that are being funded in the past calls. We have a project from Spain and a school in Romania and also a primary school in France. On the next slide, I am going to be talking about an example of a vocation school in Spain. And the next slide, please. Yes. Thank you. So the vocation school aimed at introducing marine studies to their students, and especially with creating awareness on the seahorse and also its habitat. So what they were encouraging students to build a seahorse habitat, which is Posidonia Meadow, a seahorse hotel, also including other students in a competition of this design of seahorse habitat. So students have been able to engage in this design and create a competition among the students. And this is an original way of introducing marine studies in the vocational school, which otherwise was not prior to the previous studies were not really involved or related to the sea, but it's an original way of bringing this knowledge to the students. So this is a good example of a vocational school in Spain that was funded. And the next slide is about a school in Romania, a secondary school. Next slide, please. Thank you. This is a secondary school, and they had a wonderful project, Blue Trails, and they are analyzing data on microplastic in the rivers, but also partnering closely with 3 more schools in Romania. Students have been able to draw a map of water quality around the country using the data that they've collected, and each school is involved in this project that they are partnering with, also with local community entities like NGOs and also universities. So this is a very innovative way of engaging students, learners, but also engaging other schools in this kind of partnership that introduces marine studies to learners. So each of the 3 schools that participated will develop their own noted water project, and also the students groups will visit other schools for exchange learning purposes in this area of marine studies. So this was a very good project. And also another project in France that was funded in the past call was from a primary school, and this was a small-scale funding to this project of young learners that were in bringing services of algae. Reducing overfishing was one of the objectives that they were looking at from the call. And so the teachers and the learners produced a project that is looking in a sustainable way of harnessing a variety of diets from the ocean and the sea, but while also reducing on overfishing. So the students worked with a professional algae harvester, and what they did harvest algae, cook the algae, demonstrated its use, but also showed this importance of having algae diets other than only fish. And they had it on exhibitions. They also produced a guide on how to consume algae sustainably. And this guide has been distributed among students, and so that they can raise awareness on better ways of using algae, consuming algae, and other algae can provide. So this project was also again targeting to reduce overfishing and also proposing alternative consumptions of marine products. So this is something that this is a very good project that was also funded. So yeah, with those few examples among others on the website, you could pick an inspiration to create wonderful projects as these. Thank you. I'll hand over to my partner. Yeah.
Well, I hope it's been interesting for you, but also I have more good news. There is a triple opportunity for funding your Blue School projects, because we are not the only project working on this topic. We are 3 sister projects related to Blue Schools with different kind of fundings. There is one that is called Blue Lights, that it started in January, so it's the last one to start. They offer grants up to 3,000 euros per school projects, and their call is open. We have a second sister project that it's called Shore, that it started in last autumn, and they are offering grants up to 10,000 euros, and their call is open also. And you have our funding call, ProBleu. I'm gonna give you in the next slides a little bit of keys about these projects. But in this slide, you can see that we are launching the calls at the same time. The first one will close the 20th of November. That is the short one. ProBleu, we will close at 21 of November. And the Blue Lights will close, we don't have it here, but in the same data, in the middle of November. So if you want to apply to this course, you have to write your projects now, because the deadlines are quite similar. Next slide, please. If you're interested to know more about Shore, you have here their website. You can check a little bit about their project. The funding is quite similar to ours. You will receive a part at the beginning, and at the second part at the end of the project. The kind of activities you can write are quite similar: workshops, exhibitions, competitions, trips, etc. So we recommend you to scan this code and go to their website to check a little bit more about their specific call, because in short, they are working in basins, so not all the countries are eligible. So it's important to go to their website to check if your country is eligible in their call. And the next one, it's Blue Lights. In the case of Blue Lights, they are looking for Blue Challenge projects. So they are small projects that last from 2 to 5 month. So the amount of money you can ask for is 3,000, but there is a limit per country of 6,000 euros per country. So if you ask for 3,000 euros, you can only, your country can only receive 2 projects. And the kind of activities are quite similar also. So we recommend you to go to their website and check their specific call if you want to apply also to them, because they have also specificities with several countries. It's more easy if you are in one of the countries that they are focusing. Okay. So if you have more questions, you have our website. We have a frequently asked questions section where you will find a lot of questions that are renewed with the new questions that you send to us. And if you have specific doubts, you can write us an email to ProBleu at ProBleu.school before the 15th of November, because the last week we hope to be very busy managing your applications. So don't wait to the last minute to send your questions, because maybe they will not be answered on time. Okay. So with all this information here, if you have some doubts, we can open the microphone and we can ask to your questions. Okay. So maybe we can start with some questions in the chat.
Sorry, Ellie, can I just refer one issue that we
Yes.
didn't refer that is important? It's that you can apply at the same time, as Ellie explained, to the different fundings that are available, but you can only receive funding once. This is if you submit your project to ProBleu and then you submit your project to the other funding opportunity, you can only be selected once. This is very important for you to be aware, because you can only receive grants once for the implementation of the project.
Yeah, and also remember that if you don't receive funding, it doesn't matter, because you can apply also to be a Blue school. Okay, there are 2 different processes that can be done at the same time. You can apply now for our funding, and you can apply now to be a Blue school with the activities related to water that you have done in the previous year or that you are doing now.
Can I ask the question, please?
Yes.
I want to know, 21st of November is the deadline to send the proposal idea or just to apply, or in that date we should send the complete project?
The complete project. So the 21st of November, it's the date where you need to submit all the package. So the project description form, that where you present your project, the declaration of honor.
Okay. Can we apply earlier?
Yes, of course you can.
Yes, please.
So earlier we just can apply, and then 21st of November, the complete project.
You're close. No, you can only apply once. Otherwise, there will be a repetition in the system. But you can, sorry, if you apply more than once, we will only consider the last application. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
you need to, or you can apply before the 21st if you have completed all the description of the project and you have all the documentation. But from our side, we only review the applications after the 21st of November.
Okay. So first of all, we need to complete all the duties, requirements, and then to apply.
Yes.
Okay. And one more question, if it is possible. Do you have any template how we can do the project?
Yes, it's there on the documentation. There is a project description form The project description form has a set of questions. All the questions, they correspond to the awarding criteria. And so if you follow them, it asks you, for example, to explain what is the rationale of the project, what are the objectives, what are the targets, what are the activities that are going to be implemented, what is the relation between the project and the school curricula. It asks also if you plan to do some twinning activities with other schools, for example. It has the question about the budget, how much funding we're applying to, and how do you want to spend your money. So the form has the specific questions that you need to answer, and you only need to answer to those questions, and you are not allowed to present more information because the template it's fixed for everyone.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We have some questions in the chat. There's some question from Jose Miguel Moreno. Do you share the recording later? Yes, if we have, we don't have any technical problems with the Zoom. The idea is to upload this info session in our YouTube channel. Okay, and if you go in now, you will find the previous ones. And after this session, we will upload this session. But also the people that have been registered as you will receive an email with the presentation and the link to the YouTube channel. More questions in the chat. There is one. The number of projects that are going to be approved, for example, Group D, refers to each country belonging to the specific group. For example, 2 to 4 projects for each country individually.
Sorry, can you repeat again the question?
Yeah. If the number of projects that are going to be approved in each group refers to each country belonging to the specific.
No, it's the total for the group.
And this depends on how much money ask the
Yes.
different applicants. Another question, are kindergarten schools accepted?
No, unfortunately not, because for this specific call, only primary and secondary level schools and the vocational schools that are of the same level can apply. So unfortunately, kindergartens are not eligible for this call.
But you can apply to be a European Blue School,
Yeah.
because Blue schools can be kindergartens, primary, secondary, and vocational schools. So you can apply also for being part of this network and having access to several resources. Another question from the chat: if we are a special school from Romania, we can apply. We have primary and secondary schools as students.
Yes, in principle, yes. If you are primary or secondary school or both, you can apply.
Another question from the chat: it is possible for a group of schools from the same area to apply?
There are some countries, for example, in Portugal, where schools are grouped in clusters, and the cluster itself, it's a legal entity. In that situations, the cluster can apply on behalf of those schools. Otherwise, schools need to apply individually. It's not possible to have a cooperation project where 2 schools apply or 3 to the same fund. With the same project. So if the school belongs to a group of schools which is recognized legally in your country, that will be acceptable. If not, you need to apply by yourself.
Perfect. Another question from the chat. Can we choose topics similar with projects done last year?
In principle, I would say yes, but I'm not sure about what is the project done last year. Probably it's a school that already was certified by NEPS. If it's that the case, I would say yes, that they can work now in the same topic. I don't see a problem.
Taking another question. A fourth high school of Alimos. Can we apply? Our students are from 15 to 18 years old.
Yes, of course, it's a secondary school level. It's not a problem. You can apply.
And another one, preschools that are not kindergarten, can they apply?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Yeah, preschools that are not kindergarten, can they apply?
I think no, because the minimum, let's say, entry level will be primary schools.
And the last one in the chat, if we have training with the school, does that school have to provide declaration of honor?
No, 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 no. You can identify in the project description form that you have some training activities in another school, like exchanges, visits, or sharing resources or something. You can identify that school in the form, but you don't need any documentation from them, because the only school that is going to receive the fund, it's the school that applies.
Perfect. We can open the microphone if there are questions. And Angeliki?
Hello, I have one question regarding the sister projects that you mentioned. You said that one project can be funded only in one project, not the sister ones. But can one school apply to different projects for two different calls in the sister projects? Can we
Yes.
have two applications, one for your project and one for a sister project, but the applications are different, not the same theme?
Yes, you can, but even being different, the school itself can only receive funds once.
Okay.
More questions? No? Well, remember that you have our email. And if you have more questions, you can send them. I'm gonna post it also in the chat to be sure that you all have this.
I think this is a person that is asking Alexandra to speak. Yes, you can.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you
unmute
can.
yourself.
Hi.
Hello.
So I didn't quite understand the last answer. I mean, I understood the question. So if we apply on all projects, ProBleu and the sister projects,
Mhm.
the chances are, if we are selected, we're gonna be selected just for one. We cannot win two projects. That's right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. But are the chances bigger if we apply for more projects or not?
In principle, I would say yes, but you need to be aware that the ProBleu call and the other sisters projects calls, they are not exactly the same in terms of content, objectives, type of activities, etc. If you go through the call documents in the three projects, there will be some differences. So this means that in principle, the same project might not fit the three calls automatically. You might need to adjust in order to fit. So the project probably will not be the same, but even so, you can only receive funds once, but the chances in principle can be higher, yes.
Yeah, I meant with different projects on the different calls, but they are all school related, right?
Yes. All.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
the
will
main
take.
objective
In
is the
ProBleu,
same.
in the sisters projects, only schools are eligible, and all the projects need to be related to school activities and school curricula.
Yes.
I have a question about this one. So the projects should be linked with each other, or the topics, or they can be different topics if we choose 2 or 3.
You can choose up to, in ProBleu, you can choose up to 3 topics.
2, 3 topics, but they should be related with each other, or they can be different.
They can be different.
Okay, and we will require a fund specifically for each one?
No. The project, you will, when you select the topics that the project fits, you can select 1, 2, or 3 topics.
Yes.
But it doesn't have direct relation with the type of funding or the amount of the funding that you're going to receive. It's not only the number of topics that is important, it's the type of activities, the size of the project, the number of students that you want to involve. That's the way that you need to think when you choose or when you select for a small scale project or for a large scale project. The funding needs to be strictly related to the activities, the number of students to be involved, the impact of the project, etc.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Maria?
Yes, hello. I hope you can hear me. My voice is a bit not so good. I think actually the what you said, Pedro, partly answered my question, but I was a bit, I don't work in a school myself, but we give advice to schools in Sweden, and I wonder a bit how to. I mean, you say that these different projects all have their different categories and the scale of projects, because I mean, on one hand, if you have a school that's actually quite well on its way in doing good projects already, they would preferably apply for a short project, right? Because that would be the most, then you get if you get it, you get the most funding. I mean, how should we advise schools to choose between these different projects? Because I mean, it would be difficult, for instance, for blue lights. Oh, but we just want to do a small thing. Okay, we apply for blue lights. Okay, we got the money, and then, well, now we're not eligible for any further funding, right, in the coming years. So it gives blue lights a slight disadvantage in terms of the amount of money being handed out, right? How should we? Do you have any? I mean, to me, it seems a little bit difficult to draw lines between the categories or the projects. How should we advise the schools to pick? I mean, I don't know. Do you get?
I also don't know how to answer. One of the issues, as I said, it's that the different projects, the ProBleu and the Sisters project, the calls are different. So what we are asking is for the school, from the schools, and at the same time what we are offering, it's different. So it's a kind of strategy for the school to select the best option, of course. But these funds, they were thought to stimulate the schools to become blue schools and to, let's say, enter this process and gain some experience. But they were not thought or they are not designed as a continuation. This is to have funds every year, let's say, to do the same type of project. So it's a kind of to stimulate the schools to enter this movement of the blue schools, to enter to the network, to also understand better the benefits of networking, the exchanges, the training that is available, the sharing of the resources, etc. So I think depends on what the school wants to do and is able to do at the moment with the funding, but also thinking of the future. If in the future you have difficulties in sustaining a large project, for example, probably it's better to downsize a little bit your idea and go for a small project, because in the future you'll be able to replicate the project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other question? If not, remember that you have our email on the chat and you can send your questions there. So we hope that in the following days we start receiving your applications for our funding, and also that you get more motivated now to apply to be a blue school, a European blue school. Okay. So thank you very much for attending this session. We wait for your emails. I don't know if you want to say something, Pedro or Aisha.
No, just thank you and good luck. And if you have doubts, please consult the frequently asked questions on the website and also contact us by email, and we will be happy to support you. Try not to contact us on the 20th of November because it can be a little bit late. And so try to organize yourself, ask the questions in time, and we will be able to support you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You've been such a wonderful audience and very engaging. So we are happy to share this call information with you. We look forward to receiving your applications. Good luck.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.